All right, let's dive in. Today, it's all about DeepSeek. Seems like everyone's buzzing about this new AI model, and we've got a mountain of stuff to unpack. Articles, expert opinions, the whole shebang.
Yeah, a lot of interest out there for sure.
Definitely. And, our listeners, they want the real deal, not just hype.
Right, cut through the noise.
Exactly. So that's our mission today. What is this DeepSeek thing? Why should you care? And what's it going to mean for all of us down the line?
Big questions.
Huge. Okay, so to set the stage, imagine this. A tiny startup, shoestring budget, takes on the AI giants like OpenAI. And get this, they actually win.
It's a pretty wild story.
It is. So DeepSeek, not some Silicon Valley prodigy, it's actually, get this, a side project.
Yeah, you read that right.
From a Chinese hedge fund, of all things.
And they weren't exactly swimming in cash.
Nope, tiny team.
Yeah.
Less than 200 people. Budget, something like $5 or $6 million. Peanuts compared to what the big guys are throwing around.
It is, especially when you look at OpenAI or Google. Those are billion-dollar operations.
Billion, with a B. Oh, and there's another curveball. They were banned from using the top-tier GPUs.
Yeah, those restrictions on Chinese companies.
Seriously, talk about an uphill battle.
It is. And those GPUs, they're kind of the backbone of AI development. Compute is king. The more computing power you have,
the smarter the AI.
Pretty much. It's like the U.S. government is planning this massive AI data center.
Didn't I read about that?
Yeah, $500 billion. That's the scale we're talking about. And DeepSeek is doing amazing things with, well, a tiny fraction of that.
It's mind-boggling. So how did they pull it off? Well, everyone's going crazy for this thinking feature in DeepSeek R1.
Right. People hear thinking and their minds go straight to
Terminator.
Haha. Pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
But hold on, it's not sentience or anything like that.
Okay, good.
But what it can do is show you its reasoning process, like how it arrived at an answer.
That's pretty unique, right?
It is. We're actually getting a glimpse inside the AI's head.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Do you mean an example?
So there was this one, someone typed, hey, but with like a ton of extra Ys, kind of messing around.
No, yeah, like hey key.
Exactly. And DeepSeek R1, it picked up on the casual vibe, responded with, hey there, and even threw in an emoji.
No way, it understood the tone.
Seems like it. Pretty impressive for a machine.
Seriously impressive.
And there's this other one, someone asked her for a random number. And the AI, it went on this whole internal debate about how to make sure the number was truly random, even considered using the current time, but then realized it didn't have access to that info.
It's like it was thinking out loud.
Yeah, very human-like. Even with its limits, it's mimicking those thought patterns.
Amazing. Oh, and got to mention, OpenAI actually charges you to see that thinking thing with ChatGPT, DeepSeek. Totally free.
Right. Big difference.
Huge. And that brings us to another mind-blowing thing about DeepSeek. It's open source. Now, for folks who aren't techie.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
It means anyone at all can use, change, even share the DeepSeek model.
Yeah.
No strings attached.
Think of it like a recipe. Anyone can grab it, tweak it, bake their own cake.
Perfect analogy. It's a total game changer. Powerful AI, not just for the big tech giants anymore. Anyone with an internet connection can jump in, build on it, innovate. It's AI for the people.
It is. Democratizing the whole field.
Exactly. And experts are already saying this open approach is making waves. Jan LeCun, Meta's top AI guy, he said something like, open source models, they're winning because their work is out there for everyone to see, use, build upon.
It's a fundamental shift in how we approach AI.
Big time. And speaking of shifts, the market went a little haywire when DeepSeek dropped. This wasn't just a ripple, it was a full-blown tsunami.
You're not kidding.
The day it launched,
yeah.
NVIDIA, the GPU powerhouse, their market cap plummeted.
$600 billion. Gone, just like that.
$600 billion. For perspective, that's more than Boeing and Home Depot combined.
It puts things in perspective.
It does. But here's the kicker. Alongside all the market panic, there was this wave of positive reactions, even from some surprising sources.
It was interesting to see.
Big time. Like Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, he said it was legit invigorating to have a new competitor. He actually welcomed the challenge.
And the former Intel CEO, he chimed in too, said, open wins when it comes to AI. DeepSeek is pushing back against that whole closed-off AI development trend.
Yeah, which a lot of people are worried about.
Absolutely. And then there's Mark Benioff, the
right.
Salesforce CEO. He was like, the real treasure in AI isn't the UI or the model itself. It's the data and how we use it.
I mean, he's got a point.
He does. And it highlights the importance of accessibility and collaboration.
For sure. I'll admit, at first, I was skeptical. I mean, could DeepSeek really deliver on all the hype? with their limited budget.
It's natural to be skeptical.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the expert analysis, it seems to back up their claims.
Yeah.
And it all boils down to this thing called reinforcement learning.
Ah, yes, that's where things get really interesting. Think of it like this. Traditional AI, it's like memorizing flashcards. Reinforcement learning, more like an obstacle course. The AI learns by trial and error, interacting with its environment, figuring things out on its own.
So it's basically teaching itself.
You got it. And it's giving DeepSeek an edge in problem solving and reasoning. It's not just following instructions, it's actually learning to think.
And get this, they used AI to train AI.
Yeah, DeepSeek R1, the one everyone's raving about, it was initially trained on data from a previous model, DeepSeek R10. It's like a chain of AI models, each one passing on its knowledge to the next.
Whoa, that's wild. Like a digital lineage of intelligence.
It is, and it makes you
Yeah.
wonder, where does it stop?
Right. It feels like we're on the fast track to this whole artificial general intelligence thing, AGI, way faster than anyone predicted.
The pace of development is definitely accelerating. And that brings us to some pretty big questions about the future of work and society as a whole. But we'll save those for the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get really interesting.
Absolutely. All right, welcome back. We've been digging into DeepSeek, this amazing AI that's shaking things up. But it's not just about the tech, right? This stuff has real-world implications, things we all need to be thinking about. AI is evolving so fast. What does it even mean for our future?
Yeah, no kidding. This isn't just some abstract concept. This tech could actually change our lives in huge ways.
It's true.
I'm excited, but also, gotta admit, a little freaked out.
It's a mixed bag for sure. Lots to unpack. And one of the biggest things people are worried about, the job market. I mean, if AI can code, write, make art, even diagnose illnesses.
What's left for us humans to do?
Right. We're already seeing AI doing things like customer service, driving cars. But DeepSeek, this feels different, like it's a whole new level.
It does. So are we all going to be out of jobs? Is that what we're looking at?
Well, it's not that simple. AI can automate stuff, that's true. But think of it this way. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used in a lot of different ways.
Okay, so maybe not a job killer, but a job changer.
Maybe. Instead of AI taking over completely, think of it as changing the kind of work we do. Imagine AI handling all the boring, repetitive tasks.
So we can focus on more creative stuff.
Yeah.
The things AI can't do yet.
Exactly.
Oh,
More
yeah.
problem solving, human connection, those uniquely human skills.
I like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we adapt to the job changes, there's still the bigger picture. I mean, this kind of tech, it could reshape the world as we know it.
No doubt. And this brings up another big question. Who's in control of all this power? With DeepSeek being open source, it's not just in the hands of corporations or governments anymore.
It's out there for anyone to use. It's like that genie. Once it's out of the bottle,
Exactly.
no putting it back in.
Nope. So yeah, there's definitely a sense of both, excitement and some fear mixed in there.
I get it. So let's break it down. What are the good possibilities? The best case scenario.
Okay, imagine a world where everyone can contribute. Researchers, developers, even just regular people using AI to solve big problems. Climate change, poverty, you name it.
Like a Star Trek future, where tech makes the world better for everyone.
That's the hope. But of course there's the flip side. What if the wrong people get their hands on this tech?
Yeah, that's what keeps me up at night. The what ifs.
It's important to be aware of the risks. AI could be used for harm. Think autonomous weapons, manipulating people's opinions, even making existing inequalities worse.
It's heavy stuff. Feels like we're headed toward this unknown future and no one knows what's going to happen.
It's true, we're in uncharted territory. But that's why it's so important to talk about it, to think critically about the consequences.
So we can try to steer things in the right direction.
Exactly. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about our values. We need to make sure AI development aligns with what we believe in as a society.
Values, yeah. I keep thinking about what that Salesforce CEO said. It's not just about the most powerful AI, it's about using it wisely, ethically.
Right. And that's where the open source thing could be so powerful. Transparency, accountability, everyone can see what's happening.
So we can all work together to make sure it's used for good.
That's the idea. It's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more optimistic now. But there's still this question. How do we actually make sure AI is used for the right reasons? Ethics and values, that's great. But how do we actually put that into practice?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. There's no easy answer, no magic solution. It's going to take a lot of different things working together. Governments, industry leaders, researchers, even everyday people like us all need to be part of the conversation.
So it's a social and political challenge, not just a tech one.
Exactly. We got to be talking about AI safety, bias, how it impacts our rights and freedoms. We can't just ignore these things, hoping they'll go away.
Definitely not. Scooterly's talking about it.
It is, and we got to remember, AI is still young. We're just starting to understand what it can do. The decisions we make now, they'll affect the future of AI for a long time.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It is. Okay, so we've talked about jobs, society, all the big stuff. But there's another area I find super interesting. Science. How AI could change the way we discover things.
Oh, yeah. The research potential is huge.
Think about it. AI could analyze mountains of data, spot patterns humans would miss, lead to breakthroughs in medicine, energy, you name it.
Like in medical research, an AI that reads thousands of studies, finds connections no one else sees, points scientists in the right direction for new treatments, even cures.
It could revolutionize healthcare for sure. And it's not just medicine. AI is already being used to design new materials, predict how complex systems work, even things like the climate.
That's amazing. But again, there's that flip side. What if it's used for the wrong kind of science? To develop dangerous tech or manipulate research for bad reasons?
That's a valid concern, which is why we need ethical guidelines, oversight, transparency, and scientific research. The focus has to be on human well-being.
So it's not just about developing AI, but developing it responsibly?
Right, and that's on all of us, scientists, policymakers, everyone. We need to be asking the tough questions, making sure AI is used for good. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
From the practical stuff to the kind of existential questions AI brings up.
We've talked impacts, possibilities. Now it's time to really dig into the philosophy behind it all, the ethics of AI.
This is where things get really deep. And honestly, it's not something we can ignore anymore. DeepSeek, it's making it clear these conversations need to happen now.
Absolutely. AI is evolving, and we have to make sure it evolves in a way that aligns with our values as humans. We have to be prepared for the potential risks, the ethical dilemmas, and that's what we'll explore in the final part of our DeepSeek deep dive.
All right, welcome back to our final DeepSeek deep dive. We've talked tech, we've talked impact, and now we're in the deep end. Ethics of AI. I mean, this stuff felt like sci-fi yesterday, but DeepSeek is like, wake up, people, this is real.
Exactly right. It's not enough to just build powerful AI. We got to make sure it's aligned with, well, with us, with our values as humans.
So, AI Ethics 101. What are the big concerns here? It's such a massive topic. Where do we even start?
I think one of the biggest ones, it's bias. Like AI models, they're trained on tons of data, right? And that data, it can reflect biases that already exist in society.
So if the data is biased, the AI becomes biased too.
Yeah, and that could lead to some unfair outcomes. Like, imagine an AI that makes decisions about loans or jobs or even criminal justice. If it's trained on biased data...
It could perpetuate those biases, even make them worse.
Exactly. And it's not just about things like gender or race. Bias can sneak in based on all sorts of stuff, like where you live, your income, even your political views.
So we need to be super careful about the data used to train AI.
Absolutely. We got to make sure it's designed to be fair for everyone.
Okay, so bias check. What else?
Transparency. If AI is going to be making important decisions, we need to understand how it's making them. It's that black box problem, right?
Yeah, we're putting our trust in something we don't really understand.
It's tough because with some of these AI models, especially the deep learning ones, it's really hard to see what's going on inside, like the logic behind their decisions.
So how do we fix that? Can we even make AI transparent?
Well, researchers are working on it. There's this thing called explainable AI or XAI, trying to make these models easier to understand, but it's a tough nut to crack. No easy answers there.
Okay, bias, transparency. What else is on the ethics checklist?
Accountability. Like, if an AI messes up, who's to blame? The developer, the user, the company that used it.
It's a whole new legal minefield, right?
It is. Imagine a self-driving car causes an accident. Who's at fault? It's not like blaming the driver anymore. We need new laws, new ways of thinking about responsibility when AI is involved.
Makes sense. So we've got these practical ethical concerns,
Sure.
but then there are the bigger, even kind of existential questions AI raises, like, what does it mean to be human when machines can think like us? Maybe even better than us in some ways.
Right, like what happens to our sense of self, our creativity. These are some deep philosophical waters.
Some people are even scared, like AI is getting too smart, and it's threatening to our whole idea of what it means to be human.
I get that. For centuries, we've defined ourselves by our intelligence, our ability to create. Now AI is coming along doing those things too. It forces us to ask, what makes us special? What's our unique contribution to the world?
Big questions, no easy answers.
Yeah.
But we got to grapple with them.
We do, and it's not just about the tech itself, it's about philosophy, ethics, even art. We need to think about AI from a human perspective. What values do we want to build into it? How do we make sure it serves humanity, not the other way around?
It's a whole new way of thinking, a whole new relationship with technology.
And like any big change, it's both exciting and scary. So where do we go from here? How do we deal with this uncertain future?
That's the million-dollar question. Any advice for our listeners?
Well, I think the key is to be open to learning, to adapting. The world is changing fast. We got to keep up. Stay informed, join the conversation, demand that our leaders take ethical AI development seriously.
And remember, this isn't something happening to us, it's something we're creating. We all have a part to play in shaping the future of AI.
Exactly. It's not preordained. We have choices to make. Ask the right questions, keep an open mind, work together. We can build a future where AI helps humanity thrive.
Well, this has been quite the journey. DeepSeek, open source AI, the ethics, the impacts, all of it. I'm leaving with a lot to think about.
Me too. It's a lot to process, but it's crucial that we do. The future of AI is being written right now, and we all have a voice in that story.
Thank you to everyone who joined us for this deep dive. We hope you learned something, maybe even changed your perspective a bit.
Yeah, this is just the beginning of the conversation. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep talking about it. That's how we'll shape a future with AI that benefits everyone.
And that's a wrap on our DeepSeek deep dive. Until next time.